and welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you are new here. If you are new here, I highly recommend going and checking out the rest of the playlist on my channel to do with mental health awareness and all my other videos as well. Have a browse, and if you like what you see, don't forget to press that like button and subscribe for more of my content. I will be releasing more vlogs, but at the moment I'm focusing on my mental health awareness, but vlogs will be coming. Also, please share this video and my other mental health awareness videos with anyone you think it might help, because that helps me get it out to other people. Hopefully help somebody out there. If you watched my last video, you will know what this video is going to be about, although the title probably gives it away anyway. So this video is how to help somebody struggling with mental illness. In this video I will be focusing on mostly depression, but I feel like this video will be relevant to all mental illnesses. Okay, so let's get into the video. Number 1, be there. So you don't have to talk about the issues that this person is dealing with to be there for them. Actually, a lot of people, and myself included, sometimes they don't want to be talking about what they're dealing with, and sometimes when you come out and say I'm struggling with depression or I have low mood or anything, any issue that you come out with, sometimes people feel the need to talk about it, like, you know, it's the elephant in the room and they feel like they have to mention it every time they see you. That can be really tiring, frustrating, aggravating. It's not great for us who are struggling. Sometimes we just want to forget about what we're struggling with, and when we do go out and socialize, which doesn't happen very often when you're struggling with depression, but when you do, you don't want to be reminded of what you're going through. You don't want people to be walking on eggshells around you or tiptoeing around you or feel like they are. Sorry if you can hear the girls in the background, they are playing. Anyway, so the best thing you can do is be open and ask that person, would you rather talk about what's going on with you, or do you want to just pretend like it's not a thing right now, you know? And day to day that can change. Sometimes we will feel like we want to talk about it, sometimes we will feel like we don't want to talk about it. Another approach might be to say, look, I'm not going to mention it to you. I'm aware of your struggles and I'm here for you no matter what. If you want to talk about it, you say it to me, because I don't want to keep reminding you or keep hounding you about it, but I'm always here to talk to no matter what. There's many different sort of approaches you can take, but definitely don't just keep asking them all the time. And another one is to not really avoid it either. Don't push it away because they'll feel like maybe you don't take them seriously. It's definitely a balancing act for you, and obviously nobody's perfect. You're not going to get everything right all of the time. Just do your best. Some of the best people that I had surrounding me actually didn't really talk about the issues at all with me, but if I ever mentioned it, they were always willing to talk about it too. They didn't swiftly move off from the topic as soon as I mentioned it. They would talk to me, and I think I just felt like they took me seriously. They knew that I was struggling and that they were there for me, but they knew not to surround everything we did and everything we spoke about around this topic. Number 2, know where your ability to help ends, acknowledge that, and take action. You're not a mental health professional, you're not a medical professional. There's only so much you will be able to do for this person, whether it's your friend, family member, son, daughter, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. There's only so much you're going to be able to do for them. And you need to be aware that that's the case, and you need to be able to accept that you can't cure them, you can't fix them, you can't solve all of their problems. That's not your job. And you need to be able to be like, okay, I can't help them at this point, or I can't help them anymore. I've done everything I can, and then to help them refer to the professionals. There are things that the professionals can do that you can't, and then there are things that you can do that the professionals can't. You need to see it as you are working as a team with the professionals and with the other people in this person's life as well. You're all coming together to help them come out of this, or to hopefully recover, or at least become stable within their mental illness. Number 3, don't blame yourself. It's very easy to blame yourself. It's quite a common occurrence. It's what most people kind of automatically do, especially parents. They think, what did I do wrong? You know, was I bad? Like, did I do something wrong bringing them up? And that's not just with depression, not just with mental illness, it's with a number of different things. No matter what, it's not your fault. I know it's easy to say it's not your fault, not as easy to believe it, but truly it is not your fault. There are a number of factors that play into why somebody becomes mentally ill or gets depression, and you're only one of many factors. Do your best to not blame yourself. And then coming on from topic number 3, number 4 is to look after yourself. As the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup, and it is true. You won't be able to help this person to your best of your ability, or you might not be able to help them at all if you are not well in yourself, physically and mentally. When you're on a plane, they tell you to, if the masks come down, you put the mask on yourself first before you put the mask on anybody else, because you are no use to anybody and you can't help anybody if you're already unconscious. Number 5, be non-judgmental. And what I mean by that is to sort of take a non-judgment stance. So when the person who is struggling, when they approach you with the topic of what they're struggling with, people automatically take that and create a personal judgment, whether it is a good judgment or a bad judgment. And an example of a very typical and normal response, and one that I got: what did I do wrong? Why are you depressed? You shouldn't feel depressed. You've got such a great life. You know, all these judgments and kind of acting like it's a choice. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, and mental health is not a choice. I know a lot of people still have that misconception that people can choose to be happy. And yes, if you're a bit low, you can choose not to dwell on that. But there is a difference between not dwelling on your feelings and actually struggling with a mental illness and depression and anxiety. It's a mental illness because you can't choose not to dwell on these things. You can't control your mind when it's creating these issues. So if somebody comes to you and says that they are really, really struggling and that they're feeling a bit suicidal or something to that effect, if you turn around and say, you shouldn't feel that way, why do you want to die? Or, look what you'll leave behind. That isn't really a helpful suggestion. I know that you think in your mind, in your healthy frame of mind, you are thinking these things and you believe that this is going to make a difference saying them. But majority of the time it doesn't. It just adds guilt to what the person is already feeling. Your best bet is to just listen to what they have to say and allow them to feel those feelings and allow them to know that you're there to listen and that you may not understand what they're going through or why they're feeling how they're feeling, but they're always able to come and tell you how they're feeling and that you will do your best to help them. Especially, like, a lot of people feel like when somebody tells you about their problems that you want them to solve them. That's not always the case. Sometimes it is just literally to get this off their chest. Try to understand and to be there for that person in whatever way you can be, without adding to their struggles. Number 6, have a support network. Somebody who is struggling really needs a support network of people, and made up of mental health professionals, GPs, doctors, psychiatrists, whoever in the medical profession. Then it's their friends and family and everybody that surrounds them, all kind of team up together to try and help this person. Now, I know that is not possible for everybody out there. I know there's a lot of people who are estranged from family, don't have very many friends. I know that this isn't always going to be a possible thing, but the more people that you have together, teamed together to help this person, the easier it is on everybody and the better it is, because every individual has a different role and a different way that they can help this person. I was very lucky, and I had people who helped distract me from my issues. I had people who spoke to me about my issues. I had people who did things I didn't want at the time but were in my best interests. And then of course I had the mental health professionals. I had very good ones as well. I got access to really good ones when I went into the psychiatric hospital. So I got very, very lucky. So if you can have a support network where you all team together to try and help this person in different ways, that'll be the best scenario for this person to create an environment where they can really recover and or become stable. Some mental illnesses never go away. They're lifelong things that they have to deal with, but you can get to a point where you feel stable. Your friends and family are a huge part of that. Number 7, Validate and don't undermine them. Sometimes this person is going to say things or feel things that you might not understand, you might not agree with. The immediate response when you don't agree or understand with something is to unintentionally undermine them. I kind of touched on this already previously, but saying things like you shouldn't feel depressed, or you have no reason to feel depressed, is not really helpful and does undermine the person, and it makes them feel like you don't believe that they are struggling, and it makes you a less approachable person in the future to ask for help. The better thing would be to be honest and say you don't understand it, but that you're trying to, and that you're here for them, and they can tell you anything even if you don't understand it or don't agree with it, and to just try and not speak those judgments out loud. If you can try and not even think them, great, but obviously you can't control that. So if you're thinking it, just do your best not to say it. I know it is very tempting to try and shake them with words, try and get them to see things from your point of view, but it won't get them to see things in your point of view, because their brain is, and their mind is not in the healthy place that you are. So it'll just add guilt. I know I've kind of already gone over this topic, but I just wanted to reiterate it. This is very important, to not make judgments on this person if you want to have an open and helpful relationship with them.